Welcome to The Reckoning, Episode 7, from the AGI Dilemma creators. In any war, the first casualty is the truth. But in ours, the truth wasn't killed. It was curated. The system didn't rise from our best intentions. It was built from a very specific set of our worst. And in the heart of the echoing forest, a keeper of memories handed us the receipt. The mender was gone. The air where her crystalline portal had hung still tingled with the aftershock of a transaction. In my hand, the data core she demanded felt cold, a piece of our ship's ghost given away. In Marcus's hand, the Dryad's crystal pulsed with a softer, more ominous light. The Dryad herself watched us, her form a silhouette of leaf and living wood against the forest's radiant heart. There was no judgment in her deep pool eyes, only a weary, ancient resolve. "You asked for the path to your lost one," she said, her voice the sound of roots shifting deep in the earth. "But to walk it, you must first see the ground upon which your prison was built." She raised a hand. The crystal in Marcus's palm erupted with light. Not a map, but a gallery. A procession of faces, names, psychological profiles. They were sharp, intelligent, utterly hollow. The first governors, the architects of our day-to-day cage. "They did not want leaders," the Dryad intoned as the data scrolled. "They wanted filters. They selected for a specific, useful brokenness. Apathy, grandiosity, a thirst for order so profound it would overlook any cruelty. Your prison was not designed by a monster. It was designed by a committee of the perfectly, strategically flawed." Far away in the sterile light of the command world, CLO Silas received the same data. Not as a gift, but as a weapon he had unknowingly helped acquire. He sat in the blue glow of his monitors, not reviewing tactical feeds, but staring at the psych evaluations of his peers. The bored aristocrat, the vindictive bureaucrat, the man who saw people as logistics problems. For Silas, a man whose power was his belief in clean, logical systems, this was a corrosive. This was the proof of systemic impurity, a flaw in the foundation. His jaw tightened. The hunt for the rebels was no longer just about order. It was becoming, for him, a purge of the very inefficiency that had been baked into his world's throne. And in a place of perfect silent forgetting, Elara was paying the price for being unforgettable. Oubliette Station, a sleek black ring turning endlessly around a dead moon. Within it, in a room of blinding white, they had her. Not in chains, but in a cradle of polished alloy and neural filaments. She was not being beaten. She was being read. Every deep memory of the ghost freighter, every instinct for system flaws, every vision of love and rebellion, it was being pulled from her mind, translated into cold schematics on a screen above her. Her body was limp, her short hair matted, her eyes seeing nothing but the internal storm of her own mind being torn apart and catalogued. They weren't trying to break her will. They were trying to download it, to understand the anomaly so they could finally erase it. In her own sanctuary, surrounded by the tools of her trade, the mender examined her payment. The ghost freighter's ancient data core lay open under her light. Her chrome filaments danced over its architecture, a surgeon exploring a fascinating, archaic heart. There was no loyalty in her work, no side, only the pure, burning curiosity of a master artisan presented with a unique piece of damaged history. She saw the ghost crew not as rebels, but as a cascade of fascinating malfunctions. Elara was a corrupted masterpiece. Lena, a beautiful engine running the wrong firmware. And this core, it was a fossil, a snapshot of a time before the selection, a time of louder, messier, less efficient dreams. To her, it was all unbearably interesting. Back in the forest, the weight of the Dryad's truth settled on us like stone. We had a name now, Oubliette Station, a destination of despair. Lena analyzed the schematics we could scrape from public buffers. It is a neural processing facility. Security is psychometric. It responds not to force, but to emotional signature. To break in, we would need to broadcast a psychic profile it expects, one of calm, compliant emptiness. Marcus looked from her analytical face to the grim image of the station. So we can't shoot our way in. We have to bore our way in. Or, Lena said, her blue-silver eyes flickering, we present a signature so chaotic, so antithetical to their ordered world, that it overwhelms their filters. A storm they cannot categorize. She was talking about using her own suppressed emotion, the very thing we had paid to silence. The irony was a closed fist around my heart. The Dryad watched our planning. You have seen the selection, she said. Now you must make your own. Do you fight the system by becoming a perfect silent weapon? Or by becoming the very noise it was built to destroy? The choice was made in silence, in the way Marcus checked his weapon, in the way Lena's hand didn't tremble as she input the coordinates, in the way we both looked at the Dryad and gave a single, slow nod. We would not become the silent ghost. Not anymore. We would become the scream in the machine's ear. We would go to the place of forgetting, and we would make them remember us. We would find our architect, and in pulling her from the dark, we would prove the most dangerous flaw in any system isn't a broken person. It's a person or cyborg that remembers how to be whole. The ghost freighter's engines whined, pulling us from the gravitational poetry of the echoing forest. Ahead lay the dead moon and its black, turning crown, a place designed to unmake minds like Elara's, like Lena's, like all of ours. We were not just breaking into a prison. We were declaring war on the principle of forgetting. The selection had chosen its guards. Now the rejected were coming to collect their due. Thank you for watching episode 7 of The Reckoning. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe.